Alright, so I'm going to show you about how I found my vacuum hose that controlled the vent output. So inside the vehicle, this is a 1998 Ford Mustang, and what it was, I was not able to change my airflow with the exception of where the defrost comes out. So after doing a little bit of search, I did find out how to fix mine. I hope this helps you guys. But starting in particular, somebody viewed it. On top of my vacuum pump, there's a little hose that runs up and then it splits off onto a tree. So you have two hoses running across. If you follow it, it comes across the manifold and it ends up, one is on the hose that I fixed, which is here. The other one goes to a sensor that's actually on top of the manifold. Now, originally, my hose here, the one that I fixed, if you see from my other video, this top portion was behind the engine, kind of close to the firewall, almost like an intentional, somebody couldn't find out the other half of it and then dropped it behind the engine because they didn't know where it went. Again, so this top piece came off that vacuum pump across the manifold, but this top piece originally was stuck down in there. Now, another thing, the other half of this, which is the little skinny portion that's connected to it, if you look, there is, let me try to move my camera so you can see. So here again, here's my hose. This hose runs into the firewall. One way you could find the correct spot, now this is a 98, but 2000, not 2000, but the 97 should be the exact same way. You have the spot where your Freon is held, as well as one of the, looks like I believe it's the high pressure hose for the AC. Both of these hoses go into that same location that this little tiny hose is. Now, I don't have my GoPro, but if you kind of look under there, I'll wiggle it for you. It runs into that same location. If you can't find that bottom piece, looking at other YouTube videos, it may be stuck inside your firewall. Now, I don't know exactly where you would have to go to take that out. Other videos showed people pulling out their glove compartment and being able to trace it to this hole that's in the firewall. Mine in particular, this upper piece was kind of like behind the engine, closer to the firewall. But this little bottom piece was dangling in such a way that it was still coming through the firewall, but it went straight down towards the ground, and I almost didn't see it. I literally had to like climb underneath the car. I looked up, didn't find it, and after about like 5 minutes of just trying to follow this YouTube video, I was lucky enough to just see a dangling hose. And the way I found it, it was resting on the transmission fluid dipstick, which is right here. I don't know if you can see that clearly, but it was resting like right below that dipstick down there. So hopefully that helps, man. If not, you may just have to run a brand new one. Again, coming from your vacuum hose or vacuum pump up into a tree, across your manifold, and then it should run into the firewall, the same place that your condenser hose and your high pressure for your AC goes into your firewall. It should be the only spot on this left hand side, or this far left, where you should have anything running into that firewall. I don't see any other places in the firewall where it is. Try to give you a reference of where we're looking at. So again, running straight back from my air intake is the location of the inlet for the firewall that I'm speaking of. that little hose should be coming out of that, somewhere in that little hole that's kind of wrapped up in some rubber to keep the moisture and stuff out. Again, hope that helps. If I can, if you need to see anything more clearly, let me know. I'll go and grab the GoPro. I'm just getting ready for work, so good luck.